we're going to look at a graph, and we're going to decide what the equation is. Okay, so first, determine the type of change. So look at the graph. Look at this. Oh, that's linear. I can see right away it's a straight line. I also see that it's decreasing. So this is linear decrease. And watch what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to write, I know if it's linear, it's going to be y equals mx plus b, right? If it's exponential, it's going to be this. Okay, so I identified the type. Now I'm going to identify the y-intercept. Okay, now I know where the y-intercept's going to go. It's going to go right here, right? And I'm looking for the y-intercept. I'm looking along the line and seeing, oh, it's right here. It's 5, okay? Look, so I can already write part of my equation. Y equals m, leave a space, x, look, my b is plus 5. Okay. So look, here's that y-intercept, right? That's the easy part. Okay, now the next piece is what's the change? What's the slope? Okay, now if it's linear, I'm asking myself what's added. And if it's exponential, I'm asking myself what's multiplied. Now, here's a great strategy is to create a table to help identify the change. Let me show you what I mean. You can just look, and hopefully, maybe you even just remember from first semester, you could just look and say, oh, look, there's a point right here. What's this slope? And hopefully you can just look and see. Okay, but if you can't, look. Here's my x, here's my y. I'm going to start with my y-intercept. Look, this point right here, that's 0, 5, right? That's the x value is 0 and the y value is 5. Now, when x is 1, what's my y value? Oh, it's 3. Right? Now, look, I could keep going. I could say, like, oh, when my x value is 2, my y value is 1. What's happening here? I know it's linear, so I know we're going to be talking about adding or subtracting, right? And what's happening here is, look, I'm subtracting 2. But what's actually happening is I'm adding -2, right? My change is -2. Okay, I'm subtracting 2, right? I'm starting at 5 and subtracting 2. Look, starting at 5, going down 2. Starting at 5, going down 2. Okay, all right, next one. I look at the shape of this graph. Right away, I look at that. I know that's exponential growth. Okay, I'm going to write my equation. It's going to look like this. And I know my y-intercept's going to go in this spot right here. And I'm looking at my graph. And I see, you know what my y-intercept is? It's 1. Okay, now I'm going to do something silly. I'm going to write the 1. Normally, we wouldn't write like multiplication by 1, but just for the sake of like we're learning and we're used to putting a number there and we need a y-intercept to go there, I'm going to put the 1. Okay, and then I know the x is going to go here. I'm just looking for the change. Okay, let's draw that table so you can see the change. And I'm just drawing it where I have space. Okay, so look, this is my y-intercept. This is the point 0, 1. Now look, let's see what happens next. Look, it's right here. Okay, so when x is 1, right, when I go down, when I continue down my table, the y value is 4. Now look, when x is 2, ooh, it goes off the graph. So when x is 2, this is like a pretty big number, bigger than 12. All right, let's see what's happening here. I know because it's exponential, I am multiplying. So the question is, what am I multiplying by? Right here, I was subtracting 2. What am I multiplying by? 1 times what is 4? And it's times 4. Okay, now look, it's not plus 3. You know it's not plus 3 because look, I'm not adding 3 because if I was adding 3, I would be going up to 7 next, right? I'd be going in a straight line and be adding. Okay, but this curve tells me I'm multiplying. So 1 times what is 4? 4. And look, if I multiply by 4 again, I get 16. That's why we don't see it on the graph here. Okay, so this 1, we're starting at 1, and we're multiplying it by 4, right? And then it's going to get multiplied by 4 again. It's going to be 16. It's going to multiply by 4 again, right? Keep going. Okay. This, I look at this curve, I know right away this is exponential decay. I know my equation is going to look just the same as the exponential growth. Okay, look, I'm going to come back here. Let me hit this y-intercept with my highlighter. Okay, I'm going to look for my y-intercept again. Here I notice my y-intercept is the number 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and write y equals 6 times my change to the power of x. Okay, so here's that y-intercept. Now, how is that 6 changing? Let's take a look. I'm starting at 0, 6, right? That's my y-intercept. What's next? Oh, look, this becomes 1, 3. Look, and then here, oh, what's this? Let's see, that looks like, you know what this looks like? It looks like 1.5. Okay, what's happening here? Look, and I know it's exponential, so I know I'm multiplying or dividing. Now look, I might look at this and say, ooh, that's dividing by 2. Look, 6 divided by what is 3? Oh, divided by 2. I'm dividing by 2. But, little reminder, if I'm dividing by 2, what's actually happening? I'm multiplying by 1/2. They're the same. right? If I'm dividing by 3, I'm multiplying by 1/3. If I'm dividing by 4, I'm multiplying by 1/4. Okay, so here, remember, right, because my structure of my equation is multiplication. So here, yes, I'm dividing by 2, but we're going to write it as times 1/2. Right? Last one. I look at this. I can see this is linear increase. I know this is going to be good old y equals mx plus b. I'm going to look for my y-intercept first. I'm going to stick it right here. I can see my y-intercept is -1. So I'm going to write y equals mx, leave that blank, plus b is -1. And I'm looking. Look, here's my, I want to know what's being added. Look, when x is 0, y is -1. Now here, look, it goes up. Now you could just count how many it goes up, right? That would do it. Okay, but you can also see, oh, when x is 1, y is 2. Look, when x is 2, y is 5. What's happening here? Oh, I'm adding 3, right? This is plus 3. Okay, my equation is y equals 3x minus 1. Okay, so again, I found my y-intercept first. That was this, -1. Okay, and then I found my change was 3. Okay, go ahead and try the 4 below.